Margaret Hilda Roberts was born in Grantham in 1925 and she also grew up there.
Her father was active in local politics. He was an independent. Margaret went to a girls' school where she got high marks and did a lot of sports. She wanted to study chemistry at Oxford and, after being rejected, she did so. But in the back of her mind, she was already thinking towards law and politics. After graduating, she moved to Colchester to apply for a job at Imperial Chemical Industries, but she was rejected. So Margaret joined the local Conservative Association. Officials of the association were so impressed by her that they encouraged her to apply. In 1951 she was selected and added to the approved list of the Conservative Party. Margaret Thatcher was the youngest and the only female candidate. In 1970 the Conservative Party won the general election and Thatcher was appointed to the cabinet as a Secretary of State for Education and Science. In this period, she got a lot of criticism by the press and as a result she considered leaving politics. In 1975, Thatcher became the party leader and the leader of the opposition. She was against the current welfare state and wanted less influence by the government. A Russian newspaper called her the Iron Lady because she attacked the Soviet Union in a speech. Then in 1979, the Conservatives won the general election and Margaret Thatcher became the first female Prime Minister.
Just like to remember some words of St. Francis of Assisi, which I think are really just particularly apt at the moment. Where there is discord, may we bring harmony. Where there is error, may we bring truth. Where there is doubt, may we bring faith. And where there is despair, may we bring hope. And to all the British people, howsoever they voted, may I say this, now that the election is over, may we get together and strive to serve and strengthen the country of which we are so proud to be a part.
When Thatcher became Prime Minister, the situation in the United Kingdom wasn't very good. The government was almost bankrupt, the inflation was high, and unemployment was on the rise. To lower the inflation, Thatcher raised interest rates. She wanted the individual to get more power and she wanted less government's interference in the economy, so she privatized things such as social housing and public transport, and she lowered the cash flow on social services like education, healthcare and housing.
So here's what you need to know about the Falkland Wars. After centuries of fighting over the group of islands near Argentine, called the Falkland Islands, Britain eventually colonized the area. In 1982, however, the Argentines took over the islands by pretending to have civilians escorted by military to the South Georgia island east of the Falklands. Upon arrival, they hoisted the Argentinian flag and invaded the Falklands. The Argentinians didn't expect the British to respond with military forces because of the great distance that would have to be traversed, which was nearly 13,000 kilometers. But the UK had also made large cuts to their armed forces, so the military expenses would have been too great. The Argentinians were wrong, however. The UK, under Margaret Thatcher, invaded the islands and were split into two groups, one traveling west and the other east. The group traveling west defeated the Argentinians after long fighting. The other group, however, had to deal with large groups of militants trenched into hills, blocking the way. After reinforcements of the British arrived, they defeated the Argentinians. In Britain, the war helped Margaret Thatcher gain public support and win the elections the following year.
However, not everybody was happy with the measures Thatcher took in her first term, and several strikes were launched. Thatcher wanted to stop these continuous strikes, so she decided to reform the labor unions by giving them less power in the organization of strikes. However, when she also announced that she wanted to close down several mines and give mine workers less money, a very big strike was launched by mine workers in 1984.
If you want some, I'll give it you. You want to do with me?
This didn't stop Thatcher, and the mines were closed in March 1985. Because of her policies, Thatcher wasn't always safe. In 1984, a bomb was planted in the hotel where she slept for a party conference. The bomb was planted by the IRA, an Irish terrorist group who demanded that Irish prisoners should be released. Thatcher survived the attack. In 1990, things went wrong for Thatcher when she announced plans for a poll tax, a tax that was the same amount for everybody, so it was not based on income. The last member of her original cabinet, Geoffrey Howe, resigned because Thatcher didn't want to join the European exchange rate mechanism, a mechanism designed to stabilize the currencies in order to introduce the euro.
No, no, no. Perhaps the Labour Party would give all those things up. Easily. Perhaps they would agree to a single currency, to total abolition of the pound sterling.
The next day, Michael Heseltine challenged Thatcher for the leadership of the Conservative Party. After 2 voting rounds in favour of Heseltine and pressure of her cabinet, Thatcher resigned on November 8, 1990. Thatcher lived in London for the rest of her life until her death on April 8, 2013.